Christ is born. Glorify him. I'm Tom Connolly, your local leadership coach. This Christmas will be our 4th in Waxahachie and Ellis County, and we continue to be blessed here in Texas. We are thankful for the friends we've made, our neighbors, and our business associates. We are grateful for the United States, the greatest nation ever, and the great state of Texas. We are especially thankful for our Marines and service members, particularly those deployed in harm's way, and our law enforcement officers and first responders. And we ask you to keep them in your prayers. Hold your loved ones close and remember the great gift. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And remember, all things are possible through prayer and heavy deadlifts. All of us at Connolly Consulting and the Connollys of Waxahachie wish you a Merry Christmas, peace, and goodwill in the new year.
Hey, it's Christmas time, and that means in Becky's kitchen, we are making, I don't want to say, I'll call them the darn wreaths, okay? I started making these a long time ago, and they're just basically like Rice Krispie treats, except you use cornflakes and marshmallow and butter, and they're really beautiful, and apparently they're very good because for all these years now, my sons that are now grown and have their own kids have to have these at Christmas, and of course their kids do too. And when I was teaching school, I would stay up so late at night making batches of it for the last day of school to give all my students. So I've been doing it for a long time, and that's why I call them the darn wreaths. And actually, I've never eaten one before, but maybe today. Anyway, the most important thing about this is you have to prep, because if you don't, it won't work out. Because all you need are cornflakes and marshmallows, butter, and Red Hots. That's all. But also, I would really recommend wax paper, Pam, and saran wrap. And the most important thing, and I know you don't have one, but maybe you do, but it's not like mine, but I have to show you what I must have to do my darn wreaths. The ugly pan. You know, it's the ugly Christmas sweater. It's the ugly pan. It's at least 50 years old. I use it for the wreaths, and I use it, I don't know if you can see the water line in there. Whenever I'm doing beans, like pinto beans or navy beans, I know exactly where to put the liquid. It goes right to that line, and it's never failed me yet. So this is the official darn wreaths pan. And all I'm going to do when I get started is melt the marshmallows in the butter. But that comes after I get the landing area prepped. That means I'm going to lay out wax paper, because when these wreaths come out of the pan, they need a place to go and set. In my experience, you better do this before they're ready. The pot is going to be rather warm. Now that's probably enough. And then I spray them just with a little bit of Pam. So it keeps the wax paper from flying off in case the air conditioner or heater comes on, and it keeps them from sticking. Okay, now the next thing is we're going to need Red Hots, but at the end. So I put them in a little bowl, and they're right there ready to go. This saran wrap will be after they're ready to store, okay? So now I buy the big box of cornflakes, and you can get 2 batches. The first batch I made 22. It just depends on how big you want to make your wreath. So it is 6 cups of cornflakes. And really, you do not want to put too many cornflakes, or you're not going to get a good cover on them. They're going to be cornflakes with a little bit of green. So this cup is a 4-cup measure. It's better to have a little less than too much. And then I'll add 2 more, like 6. And see, there's not enough to make another batch, but this is breakfast. Okay, so my cornflakes are all measured out. It takes 1 stick of butter, and I do use real butter. I think margarine might be all right, but I don't even buy margarine anymore. The real stuff is good. I'm going to put this in the pan, the beautiful pan. Turn the heat on just a little bit. All we have to do is melt the marshmallows and add the vanilla. So I kind of let the butter get a head start, because once the marshmallows start to melt, they go pretty fast. And I use the little miniature marshmallows. I think you could use the regular size one. I just know that 1 bag of marshmallows, 1 stick of butter, and 6 cups of cornflakes, so that I'll just stick with that. I think the little ones would probably melt a little bit faster, but I don't know. When it starts to melt, you'll see, then it kind of goes pretty fast, so it's not like making candy. You do not have to boil it for 5 minutes or whatever. It's not going to do anything like that. It just needs to be melted. These wreaths, the kids eat them, you know, like cookies, but my goodness, they make beautiful decorations, like on cakes. They are pretty nifty. And I've actually made them at Easter and used little tiny jelly beans instead of Red Hots, and they look cute that way too. So, even though I call them the darn wreaths, it wouldn't be Christmas if I didn't make them for me. I mean, not to eat, just because I think they're pretty and it's what we do. Everybody has their traditions. See, it's really starting to melt those marshmallows. But keep stirring. I have the heat on probably medium-high, but pretty soon I can even turn it off and the marshmallows will continue to melt. A little bit more. It's really going fast now. So see, it's not a huge amount of, what would you call this, marshmallow filling, I guess, or I don't know what it is, but I like marshmallows. See, now that you can really, there's only a few marshmallows that even look like marshmallows. So in just a few seconds, I will just turn this off, because I actually don't want it, you know, to cook too much longer. It's ready to turn off. Now, I don't think the recipe called for vanilla, but I think this may be one reason why these are pretty good. It makes it pop a little bit, and you know, if you weren't putting a color in it, then it wouldn't have white, because vanilla, unless you use clear vanilla, there is such a thing. All right, now this is where it gets messy. This is green food coloring, and it takes quite a bit, and you just have to stir it in there and see when it's green enough for you. And you don't want it streaky, so you really do have to kind of mix it around. I like that color, but I think I'm going to make it just a little bit darker. I already have green in my hand. It wouldn't be the same if I didn't. Okay. All right, I'm carrying my pan over here, and I'm going to pour the cornflakes into the sticky green stuff. And you know, you're going to smush some of the cornflakes. That's okay. You just have to get that. Most of the good stuff is down at the bottom of the pan, and you really have to bring it up, because you don't want, you know, wreaths that look more like cornflakes than wreaths. Just keep pushing it around. I still see a lot of stuff on the bottom, so that's what I'm, and I guess you could use a spatula, I don't know. And we're getting there. And I also feel like it's starting to get a little less hot, which means it's about to set. So that's why time is very important here. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Okay. Now I use 2 spoons. So, get it out of the pan. And now the directions say put it in a nice little wreath shape. No, it doesn't matter. I flop it down, and they look like wreaths when they're finished, so I'm not worried about that. Also, the pan and the spoon will be green, and as soon as you're through getting the wreaths on the thing, you need to put this under hot running water for like a couple of minutes, and then just walk away, and when you come back, it'll be easy to clean. If you don't do that, not going to be easy to clean. All right, now this is how I've always done it, and it's always, in the end, they look like wreaths. You just put them out on this wax paper. And you can, if some of the flakes fall off to the side, don't worry about it, because when we scoop them up with the saran wrap, we can fix that. You have to kind of do fast, because if you don't, it will dry, and then the red hots, the hollyberry red hots, will not stick. Like I say, it depends on how big you want to make the wreaths. It's how many you need, maybe. Aren't they pretty? After I have put these out, and then I'm going to put the red hots on them. Don't make the mistake I did yesterday. Don't try to scoop them up until they have time to cool and set. Bad idea. Just a few more. Wait, how many is that? Yesterday I got 22 out of a batch. Like I say, it depends on how big you want to make them, or how many people you have to make them for. If you have to make them for a lot of people, I suggest you make them pretty small. You don't want to leave any left behind. That would not be good. I can already tell they're getting, setting a little bit, so they're not coming out of the spoon as easily. Okay, now, I don't think I can get another one, so maybe I'll find a skinny one. Here's one. Okay, now, that goes in the sink. Now, the red hots. Very important. I only put 3 on each wreath. You can put as many as you want. I had to actually order these red hots from Amazon because I couldn't find them in stores. I don't know why. But I have enough red hots to last for quite a while. Now, don't they look pretty? Do they look like wreaths? I don't think anybody actually eats the red hots on them, and not in my family. But if you didn't put the red hots on them, they wouldn't look like wreaths. Stick them on there and try not to. If you get some red hots stuck on your fingers, there's only one thing to do. You'll lick them off. Some red hots are little tiny things, and some are big. And I seriously don't know why it's hard to find red hots anymore. I love to eat red hots with salted peanuts. My dad did that, and I like it too. We're almost done with this batch. I'm going to see how many we made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I made 20 yesterday. I must have made them smaller. Okay, now here, see, this is a perfect example. You cannot leave that on the island. I have to eat it. It's good. Okay, so these need to sit not that long, and see the fingers? The pan cleans up better than the green fingers, let me just tell you. You'll have green fingers for a day or two. Okay, all right. When they have had time to, set and cool, you need to wrap each one individually, and I just keep the box of plastic wrap here. And then this is how I do it. Now, these might be a little too soon to wrap, but I wanted to show you how to do it. And if the wreath doesn't look good, like it's all spread out, like this one right here, it needs a little forming. It's so easy. You put the saran wrap on it, scoop it up, wrap up underneath it, plant it, fix it in any shape you want, and it's done. Let me do one more. And they do keep for a long time. If you get them, you just keep them away from at least my family. Now see, there you go. Green fingers. That's why you don't do it until they've had time to sit. But you can see how you wrap them. And then they are the neatest things to give, for little goodie bags or neighbors. Or like I say, all these extra leaves that are around, perfect for decorating cupcakes or cakes or even cookies. So, do you see what I see? A naked wreath. My goodness, just because he had to wait so long. I'm giving him a few more. Okay, so now after these sit, I'm going to show you how beautiful they are. Aren't those pretty? Oh, might as well add these to the mix. So they make also good decoration for your table, your island. These are the, let's not call them darn wreaths, the Christmas wreaths that will be a good tradition for your family too. And the recipe is on EllisDownHome.com, Becky's Kitchen. It's 3 ingredients and just a few green fingers and you have it. So have a Merry Christmas and I hope you eat a lot of wreaths. Bye-bye.